When the Nintendo Entertainment System was released back in November of 1985, the primary games developed by Nintendo themselves would later be known as the Black Box games. Amongst these games were several arcade classics, along with some bona fide gems. One of these gems is a highly addictive game called Balloon Fight. Released in August of 1986, Balloon Fight has an extremely simplistic premise in which you navigate a little unnamed dude in a helmet suspended in the air by two balloons. In order to survive each phase, you must pop the balloons of numerous foes and then knock them out of commission, removing them from the board. The game has similarities to the arcade classic Joust, where you must attack enemies from above with your javelin, and in the case of Balloon Fight, pop the balloons of your foes to send them floating down, with their only saving grace being a parachute. Descending onto the parachute afterwards eliminates the baddie from the board for good. Otherwise, the enemies can land on the ground and regroup, inflating their balloons after a certain amount of time has passed, and rejoining the fray with increased speed. Your best opportunity to attack is before this happens, while your foes are completely defenseless on the ground, with bellies ripe for the flaying. These opposing balloon fighters can also drown by falling into the water, or even be consumed by man-eating fish. Of course, you too are subject to the same horrific fate if you happen to fly too close to the water and find yourself plucked from the air like an insignificant gnat. Each baddie defeated will result in a bubble which floats to the top of the screen from the lake, and then rewards you with points once popped. I like to think of these bubbles as the trapped screams of the dead, souls looking for solace, floating to a blissful afterlife, only to find themselves an arm's length from a kingdom in the sky, before a snap of the finger in turn has them wandering a desolate purgatory for eternity. A bleak outcome of popping that angelic bubble and earning those 500 points. It makes the game that much more enjoyable. The game controls very well and is highly addictive once you get the hang of it, but the best way to enjoy this game is with a partner. Balloon Fight is one of the most enjoyable co-op games that I have ever experienced in my 30 plus years of gaming. Teamwork wipes the board clean of the bad guys in no time at all, and the simplistic nature of the game means that just about anyone can enjoy it. Seriously. My ex and I used to play this game all of the time and would reset our respective scores, making it to stage 80 and further. And my friend Abigail, who is the second player on the very footage you see before you, is even better than my ex. She even surpassed my high score. And those two are by no means what I would consider gamers whatsoever. Like I said, just about anyone can pick up this game and enjoy it. Well, almost anyone. You begin the game with 3 lives, and unlike the games from Nintendo's classic arcade series, you never earn an extra life. It's 3 and done. When you lose a balloon, not only does your player suffer from a lack of control, but you also have to flap your arms that much more to elevate yourself. This impediment carries over through the next 2 stages until you reach the bonus round, where your balloons will regenerate for the next 3 phases. Naturally, losing both balloons results in a loss of life. The bonus round requires you to collect 20 balloons, spit randomly from 4 pipes, and with a partner, there's no excuse to miss a single one. That is, unless your partner is a jerk. Collecting all 20 balloons for a single player, or combined between 2, results in extra bonus points. This game is ridiculously fun and addicting. 2-player mode is the best way to enjoy Balloon Fight, and when you have 2 outstanding players, a game will often last for over 30 minutes. The game definitely picks up in difficulty with quicker enemies, and even lightning shooting from the clouds during the later stages. Communication between you and your partner is paramount, and epitomizes what teamwork is all about. There's also a 1-player only mode called Balloon Trip. In this mode, the screen auto-scrolls from right to left while you collect balloons and avoid electric traps. You only get 1 shot here, as failing even once results in a game over. Some people find this mode much more enjoyable than the main game. I am not one of these folks. I cannot recommend this game enough, and while the cartridge has been spiking in price over the last few years, it is available on both the Wii and Wii U Virtual Consoles for a measly $5. Picking this one up is a no-brainer. So what are you waiting for? Get up off your ass and flap your arms for some Balloon Fight. In 1990, Nintendo released a Balloon Fight sequel for the Game Boy. Balloon Kid takes a departure from the original's phase-driven mode and hosts more of an adventure/platformer or an arrangement of the Balloon Trip mode where the screen automatically scrolls from right to left. In this game you star as Alice, a balloon kid who must rescue her younger brother Jim, who floats away attached to an assemblage of helium-filled balloons. Like I mentioned before, the screen scrolls to the left, forcing Alice to avoid numerous obstacles and enemies along the way. Birds, flames, and spikes are just some of the annoyances that hinder Alice from rescuing her pesky little bro, not to mention the balloon fighters from the original. Even the flesh-hungry fish makes an appearance. Alice is equipped with 2 balloons, and like Balloon Kid's predecessor, she must flap her arms to stay aloft. Losing a balloon slows Alice down and makes her more difficult to navigate, which happens to be a real pain in the ass, because the controls aren't nearly as tight as the NES original. But on the plus side, Alice can inflate new balloons just like the baddies could from Balloon Fight, and this becomes an essential component to the game, because there are points where you will actually need to detach yourself from the balloons and stick to land. Oftentimes, you'll encounter a narrow passageway that prevents you from moving further along. Once you release your balloons, you can then slip through as you would in your typical platformer, jumping over baddies and obstacles, albeit with less than stellar controls. Apparently, Alice is made of rubber and has the tendency to bounce all over the place. Once clear of narrow passageways, inflating your balloons to continue on will become the norm, and is actually quite clever for an abnormal platformer. The game also throws bosses at you at the end of each even-numbered stage, and borrows a page from Super Mario Bros. Where stomping on heads equals victory. Sometimes you'll have to detach yourself at the right moment to land a blow, but other times you can simply jump on the boss's head without using the balloons at all. At times, overthinking these boss battles will be your own undoing. The game consists of 8 stages, ranging from forests, caves, and even the inside of a whale a la Pinocchio. You collect balloons along the way, and while not mandatory, collecting them does have its advantages. Collect 20 in a row, and each subsequent balloon will turn into 2. Miss just a single one though, and the doubled up balloons will revert to singles. Collect all of the balloons in a stage to earn an extra life. Collecting all of the balloons in a bonus round will also reward you with a 1-up. During the early stages, you may find your lives reaching double digits, and you may think that the game is a bit too easy. Trust me, those extra lives will come in handy later on, because the latter half of the game pumps up the difficulty in a major way, and it won't be long before you find yourself hurling profanity-laced verbiage at your overly cute protagonist. Oh, you stupid I'm gonna kick you in. Thankfully, there are power balloons as well, which gives you limited invincibility, while at the same time scrolling the level at a quicker pace. You also earn continues, though I'm not exactly sure as how to do this as I don't have the instruction manual. Balloon Kid also offers a balloon trip mode. I've already expressed how I feel about it with the previous game. There's also a versus mode, but I don't know what this consists of, seeing as I'm playing this on the Retron 5. The graphics in the game are pretty average for the Game Boy, and while the game does have a few catchy tunes, the score won't wrangle in any awards. In the end, this game can be fun, but in my opinion, isn't even half as addictive as the original Balloon Fight. While I definitely appreciate a sequel to one of my most beloved black box games, I would have much rather have seen an updated Balloon Fight with new levels and enemies, and I still would. 32 years later, there still hasn't been an updated version/sequel to the original Balloon Fight, and that's a damn shame. Come on, Nintendo, get with the program. Yeah, right. Nintendo giving its fans what they want? You'd have better luck flying a boy in your own helium balloon.
Finally, come back down to the ground.
Luckily, the cartridge is fairly inexpensive, and the game is also available on the Nintendo eShop. I'd only recommend this one for die-hard Balloon Fight fanatics, otherwise, pass it up like a balloon in the wind.